My garbage person of the week is once again Kristi Noem, who's the worst. Now, she spent the past couple of months putting on costumes to be like a fireman and a soldier, and now I'm a pilot. I'm the one steering the plane or whatever, and wasting a lot of taxpayer dollars to have fun doing like a bucket list of different, I don't know, cosplay opportunities. And apparently that's gonna continue, according to her.
Now, some critics are saying, you look too glamorous when you're wandering through these mega prisons, or, you shouldn't be all tacked out, posing for cameras. What do you say to those people?
Well, Jesse, every day I wake up and there's new criticisms. It's something different every single day. So I try not to pay attention to the noise. Obviously, I'm guided by the folks that I work with every day to be appropriate for the situation that I'm in and to take the same precautions that they do. And I will tell you that I oversee 26 different components of the Department of Homeland Security. And they are so proud of the fact that I'm willing to wear an ICE hat, that I'm willing to wear an HSI vest, that I'm willing to go, into their and wear something and be proud of them and the work that they do. They didn't have that with the last leadership team.
Okay, so we have an actual issue where she's been chosen for a job that she's not qualified to actually run this massive bureaucracy and doesn't appear to be doing that. She says she's in charge of 26 components or whatever. When exactly? You're jetting off to do a photo shoot at a prison, then you're jetting off to pretend that you know how to, steer a bearcat, and then you're jetting off to pretend that you know how to fly a plane. Like, you're doing all of that. That's something. Doing photo shoots, modeling or whatever is a job. It can be an intense one, but it's not the same thing as doing the bureaucracy. I don't think you can do both of those. And he feels obligated to bring it up. He, of course, has no backbone, not like he says they're complaining you're too glamorous. That's not what people are complaining about. Specifically recently, they've complained that in your need to create these photo shoots, you came close to potentially shooting one of these officers in the head with a gun that you're not apparently trained to use. That's a significant concern, not a small thing. It's not about glamour, okay? And all of this has costed a ton of money. When you wanna go do this and you wanna bring libs of TikTok with you, we're paying for those trips, by the way, for their hotel rooms, for their flights and all that. When you wanna put together a group of 100 officers to track down 3 migrants, how many millions of dollars did that cost? We paid for that, so you could do your little photo shoot. This ain't about glamour. This is about waste, corruption, and fraud. That's our concern. And her defense is, I get criticized all the time, which isn't necessarily the defense you think it is, but then don't worry about it. They love that I'm willing to wear a hat. Yeah, I bet all of them. I bet the rank and file are thrilled every time they have to lead you around by the hand in one of these things. I think that their main concern is having you in one of their vests or whatever. They don't see this as a massive waste of time, a mockery of the work that they do, that you're pretending like you know how to do it when they've actually made a career out of it. So that's her defense, Brett. What do you think?
They're so happy that I'm willing to engage in cosplay and photo ops. Sure. I mean, I get that everybody who's probably in that is jazzed that you're like, yes, go do more of the thing that's your job. That's it. I understand that. I understand like the rallying cry of people in the job when someone shows up and is like, keep doing it. But like, it is all a photo op. And what's amazing is like, in the meantime, the only thing that people are paying attention to right now is that they're doing it wrong. Yeah, they sent some guy to El Salvador who was a hairdresser. And worse, they're like these guys that are all about shining a light on waste, fraud, and corruption, as you said, like really don't want to participate in actually rooting it out when it makes them look bad. I personally think that people who are really focused on finding out. I mean, the easiest way to say this is I prefer principled people. And even if they do something bad, they'll call it out. They'll say, I'm sorry, and they'll fix it and they'll move on. But that's not what these guys do, because they're just as bad as the thing they're criticizing.
Yeah, that's not what we're getting. And even when the evidence comes out, that for instance, the vast majority of the migrants sent to the Salvadoran prison had no criminal record whatsoever. They weren't even being accused of committing any crime other than being here without documentation. And in her interview with Jesse Waters, she once again says, we're going after the worst of the worst. No, you're not. you're not even going after them, let alone getting them, because apparently there's not that many of the worst of the worst. That's why you're having to track down people that haven't committed any issues other than paperwork issues. And some of the people that you're sending, that you're extraordinary renditioning to other countries, didn't even have paperwork issues. They were legal residents. And oopsie, we sent them to a place that they might get shanked. But don't worry, at least she takes responsibility for that. Oh, sorry, no. She says that he and they should stay there for the rest of their lives. These people, the vast majority of whom have not even been accused of littering, should rot in a vicious prison for decades. But at least in her defense, it might not be decades. It might be days. And that'll be it. That'll be the rest of their life. And then that'll be that.
I mean, no, John, they were arrested for the grievous crime of believing in the American dream.
And wanting to pursue it. Yeah, exactly. I guess it's okay when it's Superman though, depending on how he's predicted or depicted. Anyway, with that said, we did ask you to vote for your garbage person of the week, and 64,000 of you voted. Thank you to those who voted. Coming in at number 4, 2% of the vote, is the Georgia GOP for their anti-trans attack ad, where they depicted John Ossoff elbowing a woman in the face, which I guess is a thing that you can legally do in an ad and you don't get any trouble. Showing a politician physically striking a woman. I guess you can do that. I guess we should start doing that now, and I'm going to start doing that. Anyway.
That's the wokest ad I've ever heard, where it's like, it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman, you can still get elbowed in the face by a Jew. Like, that's the most progressive woke I thought that's what we wanted.
Number 3, with 3% of the vote, Kristi Noem for continuing her gross ICE cosplay. They didn't agree with me today. Your runner-up with 30% of the vote is the SCOTUS for allowing Trump to resume the Alien Enemies Act deportations, although they did have some other judgments in that area that weren't as bad. But no, it's Trump, 64% for golfing while he destroys the economy. Overwhelming support in the poll. Interestingly, not overwhelming interest in the video we did about it, but a lot of people did vote for it in the poll. Thank you everyone for that. And now we turn to more positive news. The heroes of the week. Coming in at number 4, 3% of the vote, is John Oliver for attacking J.K. Rowling over a trans obsession. I think he deserved more of the vote. That was a really good episode on trans athletes. But anyway, people didn't agree. Number 3, 9% of the vote for Path of Exile 2 gamers for trolling Musk during a live stream. That was very funny. Your runner-up got 12% of the vote. That's Bernie Sanders for reintroducing a bill to raise the minimum wage. But it's not even close. 76% of you voted for the hero of the week, which is the protesters for coming together for the hands-off protests, these massive protests at well over 100 locations around the country. Thank you to all of you. If you enjoyed that, then make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming a member. So you're probably wondering, why would I do that? Well, when you do that, you get access to bonus content that I make every single week, and it's a lot of fun. You get custom emojis and more. If you join at tier 3, by the way, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself. And you'll get all that going forward, but you'll also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips and top 10 lists and debates and more. So what are you waiting for?